Thank you. Please be seated. Raymond Omolo, the Principal Secretary for Internal Security and National Administration. Madam Salome Biako, the Principal Secretary for Correctional Services. Mr. Douglas Ngakanja, Inspector General of the National Police Service. The Commissioner General of Prisons. The Deputy Inspector Generals with us here. The Chair of IPOA, Mr. Aizen Hassak. The Director of the Criminal Investigation Services. Senior members of the National Police and Prison Services, including the ones in front of me as well. Families of the departed officers. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to join you all for this commemoration of service to honor the fallen officers of the National Police Service and Prisons Service. We are gathered here in solemn remembrance of 29 gallant officers who died in the line of duty during the past 1 year. Our befitting tribute is to honor these heroes and heroines for their courage, selfless service, and ultimate sacrifice to make Kenya a better place for all of us. These officers are part of the 383 officers who have transitioned in the past 6 years since this commemoration service was established. Their names will be engraved on the commemorative monument, which is updated every year. It is gratifying to note that the leadership of the police and prison services have ensured that this ceremony is observed every year without fail. This is particularly comforting to the families of those departed officers and the colleagues who worked with them. This platform provides us with an opportunity to reflect on their remarkable legacy and to reaffirm our unwavering commitment to the values they dearly upheld. Their dedication inspires us to continue serving our country with integrity, resilience, and deep sense of duty to improve the security of our people. It also challenges us to support the families of the officers who are breadwinners of their families and departed at a young age. They need our emotional support and resources to continue meeting daily needs. The government encourages the police and prison services leadership to use compassionate initiatives to support these families. It is comforting to note that 6 widows and 3 orphans were recruited during the last cohort in January 2023, as indicated by the Inspector General. I am assured that qualified widows, widowers, orphans, and the next of kin will continue to be considered in subsequent recruitments. The families are also receiving compensation, irrespective of the causes of death, whether by accident, work-related causes, and stress-related suicides. The level of compensation is higher for accidental deaths, which is in line with best practices, but across the board. This scheme ensures equity and fair treatment for all affected officers. Furthermore, we assure these families that the government has engaged insurers to ensure prompt settlement of claims. The National Treasury will ensure premiums are disbursed in time to avoid claims being delayed by pending premiums. Prior to this event, the affected families received fair tokens for Christmas. The Office of the CS has also, in past occasions, sponsored these families with tokens, foodstuff, and payment for lunches or meals during the festive season. Let me reaffirm the government's commitment to improving the welfare and working conditions of all officers and their families through decent housing, improved medical services, and counseling for those who are mentally or socially distressed. As I promised during last year's event, we are also committed to establishing a Veterans Endowment Fund. A bill to this effect is in progress, and the previous speakers have alluded to it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me close by expressing my gratitude to all of you who have participated in this event and made it a success. Special thanks to the families and friends of the officers whom we are recognizing. I also wish to commend the members of the National Police Service and the Kenya Prison Service for their continued acts of bravery in securing our nation. May you continue doing so with courage. Finally, I encourage you to enhance the collaboration between the police and the people whom you serve, so that together we can build a safer and more cohesive Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, before I step off the podium, let me, on a very personal note, say that I was truly touched by the honor and respect that is projected through this remembrance ceremony. It is exceptional, it is moving, and it is equally befitting. I commend you for recognizing your heroes and heroines. Let me also just echo the words of the previous speakers, that more often than not, society sometimes forgets that our security services are human. Even as they wear their uniform, what runs in their body is blood, just like any other citizen. When you hear stories, as they are giving the citations of each of the fallen officers, you see those who are hit from terror. You see those who are hit from practices that have no meaning anymore, like cattle rustling. You see those who have fallen because they were coming out to protect our daughters and sisters from punitive cultural practices. You see those who have fallen because they were failing examinations, so that the integrity of our educational system can be upheld by making sure that exams get to the schools on time and in safety, being attacked. Very heart-rendering moments that we rarely see out there. This is something that we need to work together as a nation to also let the public know that there are people, men and women, who are sacrificing for the good of this country. And it should not be a vilification game or attitude every other day. So, on behalf of the government, on behalf of the people of Kenya and the executive in particular, let me take this very, very solemn but important opportunity to say that we recognize you and we recognize what you do. You can imagine just one night without the security, what would happen to this country? I don't want to imagine. So we are with you. We wish you well, and for the families, we wish you Godspeed, especially knowing that you are very young and your children are young, but the spirit and the direction and the policy position being developed by the service is very progressive, and it will be transformative when it is fully concluded, so that such eventualities can also be moderated. We can never quite fill the gap of your loved ones, but we can only moderate. But ultimately, God is the greatest comforter. How we wish that we would not have to see off our officers in such kind of circumstances. You can imagine if a year passed, and it passed and we say, this year we are not able to hold the ceremony because God gave us luck and no single officer lost their life. It would be really a great moment. But the risk you take is a risk that can never be underestimated. May God rest their souls in eternal peace and give courage to the families to soldier on as they look into the future. Asanteni sana. God bless you all.
Guests of honor, sir.